The Oklahoma Wheat Commission is proud to bring you this episode of the Red Dirt Agronomy Podcast. The Oklahoma Wheat Commission, feeding the world while growing the future. Learn more at okwheat.org.
Welcome to episode 424 of the Red Dirt Agronomy Podcast. I am Dave Deacon, and we got a great episode for you. I don't have to tell you that there's a lot of wheat going in the ground across the Great Plains, but have you ever really thought about how all that seed gets to the farmers? Well, this week on the Red Dirt Agronomy Podcast, we talk with Oklahoma Foundation Seeds' Jeff Wright about that and a lot more about the seed production business. Jeff is in charge of making sure seed producers across the region have seed that they need a year before the end producers need it. We talked with Jeff when we took the show on the road and headed up to Wichita for High Plains Journal Live just a few weeks ago. While we were there, we had a great time chatting with producers from across Oklahoma and Kansas. Our chat with Jeff Wright is coming up in just a minute. But first, if you're new to the Red Dirt Agronomy Podcast, I'd like to welcome you and invite you to hit that follow button where you get your podcasts. It's just a way to ensure that you always get the latest episode every time. Now, just a reminder, you will be able to find all of the information we talked about on this episode and past episodes on our website, reddirtagronomy.com. Let's kick things off with a quick trip around the booth for an introduction to the dream team of dirt and everything that grows from it. Let's start with Oklahoma State University Extension Precision Nutrient Management Specialist.
I thought you were going to need a bleep button for a second.
Dr. Brian Arnall. And next to him is Oklahoma State University Extension Cropping System Specialist.
We're getting a phone a friend from Bob over here. That's for Australia, and 44 is the number.
Dr. Josh Lofton. And across from him is a postdoctorate in the Plant and Soil Sciences Department at Oklahoma State University.
Well, and then all those varieties, there is germplasm storage that every variety release goes to at a national level, correct?
Dr. Raedan Sharry. Now, with all the formalities out of the way, let's kick off our conversation with Jeff Wright of Oklahoma Foundation Seed that was recorded at High Plains Journal Live. So, without further ado, on to the episode. You are listening to the Red Dirt Agronomy Podcast.
We're here at the High Plains Journal Live event up in Wichita, and we got our next guest or victim, however it might be,
Made
the
eye
one
contact.
and only, the seed man, Jeff Wright, Oklahoma's Foundation Seed Stocks. He's the manager, El Jefe. He does all the things in making sure that we get our seed properly through from start to finish and make sure it's clean and done through Foundation. Jeff, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Glad I could come all the way to Wichita to join you. whole reason, right?
Well, we can't ever find you in Stillwater.
Well, it's just schedule,
Well, he just finished cutting wheat last week.
You're exactly right.
Speaking of it,
Well, he might be early.
Talk about this wheat season across Oklahoma trying to get the Foundation seed out.
Oh, this was I thought the first year I started was crazy.
I thought you were going to need a bleep button for a second.
This one was crazy. And it was supposed to be easy.
Yeah.
We had several varieties that we had the CoAXium varieties that we had several of them. Brett said, "Hey, we're not going to get things done. Let's wait a year." We had another experimental that was ready to launch, and he said, "Let's give the guys a chance to get high cotton and orange blossom on. So let's hold off on that one." So I'm like, "Wow, man, we just cut off 300 acres of wheat. We don't have to cut."
Yeah.
And between trailer wheels falling off,
I saw the photos and man,
combine axles breaking,
jeez.
and rain. I finished last week. So.
Wow. Well, and you did back a combine down I-44 backwards.
I did. I don't recommend that.
And that is a true story. I told my wife about it last night. She's like, "What?" I said, "Yeah, right there." He told. I saw the photos. I saw the video, and he did it.
Lost two wheels. The front wheels off the trailer, just on I-44 west of 235. Haul our combine backwards when we're hauling down the road, and have to pull the combine off the trailer on the shoulder and take care of it. And the only way to get it, I wasn't going to load it back on. So
Yeah.
back it down the interstate.
So as normal, we probably should back up and actually go to where we should have began. Jeff, can you talk about what you do, and what are some of the functions of Oklahoma Foundation Seed Stock, and what your responsibilities are.
Okay. So basically, our goals at Foundation Seed are, to maintain some older varieties that farmers or seedsmen are still interested in, maintaining pure genetic varietal purity, newer varieties of that's released, and then when Dr. Carver, I'll use the wheat. Wheat's our biggest crop.
Right.
When he releases new varieties, he gives us the start, and we take those varieties from a few pounds to bushels to release to the seedsmen across the state. So wheat's our biggest crop, but we also have barley, oats, rye, some peanuts still, mung beans every once in a while. Some forage grasses. We haven't done as much with those in the last few years.
Oh, wow.
But we still do have some forage grasses. So
the way that you guys work, you're the kind of the gateway of taking breeder stock to commercial, and so y'all have to have really good, really high quality seed. How does a year like this and a harvest like this that was super delayed, how does that impact any at all, or we don't know yet?
It will impact us. We were very fortunate, though, while we still had hard time getting things out. Our crop that we harvested last week held on really well. We only had, when we cut a sample, ran it down, the grower ran it down to the elevators to say, hey, what do we got here?
Yeah.
We only had 5% sprout damage cutting a week ago.
Wow.
The last week of July.
Yeah.
And off the combine, it was 56 test weight.
Wow.
So looking, and I already could tell I had pretty good color still, so I'm like, hey, I can clean this up.
Yeah.
And it's orange blossom, so we got to have it.
You
It's
have to.
First year out. Really second, but first year as a launched variety. So,
from what I hear, that wasn't consistent. There was quite a few fields that y'all couldn't take. So, what was the difference? Variety, or was it just happened to be in the right place, the right time?
I think the right place, the right time. And it's varietal. You're going to have some varieties that will sprout earlier than others. That's going to be a problem. Then area, and I don't know. I'm not the scientist, but I think there has to be something said to where, like the orange blossom field was, we stayed wet the whole time. It wasn't like we had rain.
Wet, dry.
Yeah, we stayed wet, and I think that probably helped our test weight because we weren't drying that kernel back out and shrinking it. But I don't have I don't know where that really goes, but that's my theory.
I want to go a little bit deeper because I've seen you. Shoot, Jeff, you how long have you been doing this?
18 years.
18 years.
Wow.
So I came in 2007, and it was a summer just like this.
Yep.
There was 4 varieties that were never harvested.
Wow.
I remember 07. So we started he was just a little bit before me. So he took into Foundation when I was just starting on. I was still a technician, and so I've known Jeff for a long time. His technology and what he's been able to do has changed drastically.
Oh, yeah.
Since 07, 08. So one, talk about when you came in, what you're using for planting equipment, even harvest equipment, and what you were getting from Brett versus now the technology you use and what you're able to do.
Well, when I came on, we had an F2 gleaner.
Mm-hmm.
We had a N6 that we didn't use because it was such a pain to clean.
Yeah.
And we had a C2 gleaner.
But before you go too far, you finish that, but say why gleaners and not like a deer. But
okay, yeah. So and we had an A.
You had the A.
Yeah. So we came a long way since those times. But the gleaners were easier to tear apart. They did a good job of thrashing the seed, but mainly because we could tear those things apart. It took us all day.
Yeah.
We basically, a couple of years in, I thought I was making progress because I found another F2. So we had 2 machines alike. Made it easier cleaning and interchangeable parts, except for a few things where the serial numbers were too far apart.
Right.
But we would basically we cleaned the combines at the facility. We would bring a combine in. I'd have a crew of 3 guys there. I would pick up a clean combine the next morning. They would pull that one in, work all day on cleaning it, tear everything out, make sure there's no seed left in there, because if we have seed left in the combine, that's going to be mixed seed with the next one. And so everything we do has to be clean like that. We had a semi trailer. We didn't have our own semis. We had a bobtail truck. And I look back and I really don't know how we did. I do know.
Mm-hmm.
We spent a lot. There was a lot of times I got home at midnight.
Yeah.
That's how we did. We stayed late.
Yeah.
We didn't have our own tractor and drill. We relied all on contract production.
Really?
When Brett would give us a new variety to start, he would usually give us 5 to 10 bushels. And we had a couple of contract growers that would work with us on planting those small amounts.
Wow.
Now,
How far would 5 or 6 bushels go back then?
We would get 6 to 7 acres usually, probably, because our growers weren't going to go less.
Yeah.
You know, they're a bushel is what they like to plant. We might could get one of them to plant 45 pounds, but if we did something on a research station, I was calling Brian. Brian, can I borrow a drill when we get done? So I was the guy that planted in November.
Yeah.
That kind of worried me when I came, because I grew up in south central Oklahoma. We grazed wheat for cattle. So we planted wheat on Labor Day weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And now I'm planting in November, and that's not supposed to happen. But after a few years, I was like, hey,
it's working out.
It's kind of working out.
Yeah.
And now you probably do it every year.
We do it every year.
And it's a lot more comfortable.
No, and I'll tell you, Jeff, there's a lot of stuff that Silva's done on planting date and sowing rate. Everything I've changed is because of watching you. Our conversations of you're going later, so I'm going later. Like you're dropping 40 pounds, and later you even go. And so I went from, I think I started at 70 was where I started the season at. Then I got down to where I was running 56 consistent, and now it's 56, 60 pounds. And so it was all just kind of watching you and you explore the late season, the low pop stuff, and saying, why am I paying for that seed when I get 2 acres instead of 1?
That's right. I can tell too whenever you pick up seed from me.
He's not wrong.
That bill's a lot skinnier now.
But we've so in those days, the classic example is just before I came, Duster was released. So they had, the first field they had was 3 acres on Don Schieber's place. And the year that it was launched, they had like 300 bushels of seed to launch to the public or to the membership.
Yeah.
And I came in 2007. That would have been the second year.
Right.
We lost the field to Foundation Duster.
Oh, my gosh.
We went to another grower. We managed to get 600 bushels to get out into the public.
Yeah.
So I'm going to field days in the spring, and the first couple of years I was here, I go to a field day, and Brett's talking about this variety that's coming, and some farmer in the crowd's going, you talked about Duster like 2 years ago, and I still haven't seen any seed. When am I going to get a seed? And so Brett and I visited, and I'm like, I don't know what we can do to change that.
Yeah.
But somehow we've got to get seed out there faster for the certified producer. And so we visited, and he said, well, if you could take them a little earlier, could you handle some? And I said, I think we could probably handle 3 or 4, but I can't do a lot, but I think we can handle a couple of them. Well, that couple's now turned into about 15 or so.
I was about to say, your couple's almost a couple dozen in another couple of years.
And also in that same conversation he's like, how little? And I said,
remember this.
We need a bushel. That was my first time. And I said, we could probably get by with 30 pounds. Now we're getting 10 pounds handed to us sometimes. 2 years ago with the CoAXiums, he said, I've got 21 CoAXium lines that we need to start. Don't know which one to go with. What's the least amount? I said, I think we could handle 15 pounds.
Wow.
And whenever he gets through siphoning it off for all his testing and stuff, he goes, I think I got 10 for most.
Wow.
But we have in the past, I think it was about, well, I'll step back, maybe 2017 or sometime. Josh y'all had that monosim planter that was a twin row 30. And so I talked to Wendell, and Brett had like 25 pounds of a seed of a variety. And I said, in my previous life, I had a monosim research planter. And those guys always told me we could plant anything with that planter. So I said, can we take that planter and put it to 15-inch rows, and then I can lighten what I'm planting. And so I got some wheat plates, or the plates that they said would be the best for wheat. And we planted 2 acres with that 25 pounds or whatever we had. We cut like 80 bushels of wheat the next year.
Wow.
And so then I was like, we're on to something here.
Yeah.
And so then just maybe 3 or 4 years ago, there was a research planter that was inherited from ARS that's on 10-inch rows. And it's monosim. And so when the first year we did it to try it, we didn't inherit the electronics with the planter.
I remember that year.
So it was basically we adjusted hydraulics till we and counted seed until we knew, okay, this is the speed we need to run, this is our hydraulics we need to run on the tractor. And we played guessing. And I planted, and I'm like, I hope it's planting.
Yeah.
And we planted 15 pounds of seed over 2 acres that year, and we harvested 90 bushels, which later became Scab Striker. But so the next year we got OGI to help us with funding and got electronics, and now we've really done a lot playing with seed populations, and even skip row planting. I like to do our beardless varieties on basically plant 2 rows, skip a row, and I've got it's set to where if I do that, I start with 1 row, and when I turn around I got a row, so it's basically 2 rows, skip a row across the field. That gives us a row to walk whenever we're roguing. And if it's a beardless that we need to make sure we're roguing harder, we can go down that and know where we're at, and we can plant less seed to have less plants to worry about roguing off. So we've really made some progress. We've basically we've got 2 of our own semis nowadays. The Wheat Commission helped fund us a tractor and a drill back in 2013. In 2014, we had some combine issues the year before, and so we had some good support to help fund a new combine. So the experiment station, the Wheat Commission, and Foundation Seed Funds helped fund a new combine that was made for seed production.
Oh, okay.
It's made in Finland.
Yeah.
It's offered over here through Kincaid Research, and basically it's made to tear apart.
Yeah.
Without having to have wrenches, you can literally tear it apart in about 15 minutes. And so we went from taking 8 hours with a crew of 3 to clean a combine to we can clean it in about an hour if we have a good crew, hour and a half with the first of the summer crew, and know we've got everything cleaned out.
Yeah.
And most of the time, we don't haul it back to the building to clean. We clean in the field.
Yeah.
And even now we're on our 2nd year with the small combine to help with those breeder increases. We got a combine that has a 10-foot header on it that we can clean in about 30 minutes with one person.
Wow.
So,
holy cow.
So we've really had tremendous support in my time here and getting updated equipment. But we've seen improved royalties coming back to the university through OGI funding. And so they know that we had to have better logistics
Right.
to get more seed out there. And so when Gallagher was released in 2012 or 13, we actually had 3,000 bushels to launch at launch time. In 3 years' time, Gallagher was the number one planted wheat in the state. So
This is a good opportunity to kind of explain the different levels of seed production. There's the foundation seed. There's the certified seed. Is that the next one?
basically, there's 4 classes.
Okay.
So we start with breeder seed, and then we have foundation class, which we are the producers of foundation.
Right.
And then there's a registered class. Foundation produces registered.
Yeah.
And then the registered produces certified.
Okay.
Certified produces grain.
Okay.
So the seedsmen in the state, quite a few of the membership will buy foundation from us to produce their own registered.
Okay.
There are some members that they say, I'm just need to buy some registered, so they'll buy registered from another member to grow certified to sell.
Okay. But the end user would buy it from a certified.
Yes.
Okay.
The farmer will buy certified seed of a new variety.
Yeah.
Now, and I will state that most of the OSU varieties are still to where the farmer can save his seed.
Yeah.
And plant it back for himself. There are some exceptions. The traded varieties like DoubleStop or Strad, that's basically a certified seed-only class because of the trait from the chemical company. There's a couple of new ones, the ox varieties that are grain-only contract production. So,
why is it important to how does that help the overall distribution of wheat seed having those different layers? Because, I mean, you've kind of illustrated that you're the first level of the pyramid, and it takes a lot for your crew to get that level out. Why are there so many layers in there?
Well, that was a deal that was brought up many years ago by smart people, I guess, in the crop improvement associations across in AOSCA. But basically, it's to keep as close to the top level as you can to keep the purity and the genetic makeup of those crops as close to pure as you can.
Yeah.
So the further away you're going to get from foundation, the more chance you might have of a little off type or something.
Yeah.
So how many states have something like you kind of available?
I should know that answer. There's 40 something crop improvement associations across the U.S.
Okay.
And they're even in Canada and a couple of other countries, I think.
We're getting a phone a friend from Bob over here. For Australia, and 44 is the.
I don't
Robert
remember
Calhoun with the
exactly
save.
on foundation seed organizations. I think there's 36 or 7.
Really?
Somewhere along in there. Most every state has one, but it's when you get up into the Northeast where those
states get tiny.
Yeah. Some of those are combined, or some of them may not.
Okay.
And most are associated with the land grant university.
Right.
So I know you guys said that you're really heavy wheat. I mean, it's kind of you have other things, but a bulk majority of your profile is wheat. Is that the same across? Are they really one crop dominant, or are they, kind of based on what crop is grown in the state? They kind of are like that.
The other organizations, I think, you go across the South, there are a few of them that's Georgia, I know, is really diverse because they have peanuts. Mm-hmm. They're probably more heavily peanut than anything, but they have the small grains and others. Kansas, I know, is going to be more dominated by wheat, but they do have a few soybeans. You go to Missouri, they've got they're dominated by soybeans, but they've got some small grains.
So what about other wheat breeders? Because Brett Carver, the wheat breeder, but there's other universities that maybe have subpar wheat breeders. Do they have their own system, kind of like this, or do you guys function on some of the? I mean, do you take things from other states, or is it just mainly a Oklahoma Brett Carver?
Nowadays, it's more of a Oklahoma deal.
Okay.
But we do function closely with with Kansas State, closer than probably any of the others. When I first came, Jagger was still a very big variety.
Yeah.
And when they formed Kansas Wheat Alliance, we was actually, Foundation Seed in Oklahoma was a member because we produced Foundation, Overleaf, Jagger, and Fuller.
Oh, wow.
And so after maybe 6 or 7 years of us not producing those varieties, Darryl was like, we probably really don't need to be a member anymore.
Yeah.
But we still work closely with them. We have delivery points across the state that we haul seed to our growers, or to our customers, I should say. And one of our distribution points is in Hutchinson, Kansas. And we work with K-State because they may have some seed coming into Oklahoma. And we have seed coming into Kansas.
Yeah.
So we usually work out a time to meet and basically let them haul seed back up for us, and we'll haul seed down south for them.
Yeah.
K-State used to produce Endurance as well. So there was overlap like that. But with licensing and membership, several years ago, I went blank. Anyway, the predecessor for K-State, Vernon.
Okay.
Vernon and I talked about it one year, and he was like, I could produce some DoubleStop up here, and you could probably do some, we could do that again if you want. But it probably really makes more sense for us to just transfer the seed back and forth instead of trying to grow the seed.
Right.
There's years that I would say it might not be a bad idea to have the field up there, but still, they're kind of like us.
Yeah.
They've got plenty to do, so it's easier just to help their customer base and move the seed up and down the road.
What do you see if you look forward? So, you've talked about the transition over the last 18 years. What's the next 5 or 6 years? What's the next thing that you need at Foundation Seed, or that next level of bringing it up?
Well, I think right now we moved into a new facility in 2018, and it's a huge upgrade from where we were. But we still have basically a portable cleaner and portable equipment that we're using in our building. And so my goal is to try to get the funding we've got some of the equipment already, and just try to get that permanent so we're more efficient there.
Take the axles off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, wheels and axles off.
So I think getting that equipment in better, or getting us better shape in the building, is probably the biggest thing. My big thing a few years ago was really a push from some others was we need to finish the seed cleaning plant, and I was like, I really need a plot combine for these breeder blocks. And so we finally got the opportunity to do that, and so now I think we're really set on all the equipment wise. It's just let's get the building finished.
So I've been waiting. I want to transition off of really Foundation to go agronomy. With your experience in wide row wheat, skip row wheat, low pop wheat, you're not, you dropping down to 15 pounds is probably not maximizing yield. I'm just going to guess that.
Probably so.
Where is that point from what you see? Where can you play with? Should we be on 20s? Could we be dropping 45 pounds on 20s and still pushing the yield where we want it at?
Well, I think it's very varietal dependent, but I think there are varieties that it doesn't hurt to be on that wider row, and I almost hate to say a population, but at 500, I've been dropping 500,000. If I have like the CoAXium varieties last year, I was like, I got enough seed this year, so I dropped 500,000 in my breeder strips. I cut 70 bushel wheat in Chickasha this year. To me, $500,000 seems to be a
legitimate number. physiologically, if you were to say, and you didn't know names, and you were looking at wheat varieties in field, what are you looking for of a wheat variety that would handle the wider rows?
I would say just one that's going to tiller better, maybe a little wider, bigger leaf, one that's going to cover those rows a little faster.
What happens whenever you have a wheat variety and it's going gangbusters and then it kind of fades off in popularity? Do you push one more crop and try to have the reserve of seed and then maybe let it fade away, maybe sunset after that?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
And
He might be dealing with that.
Yeah.
and yes, I
Covers the bags of Jagger and the bags of
yes, exactly. The sometimes they'll sneak up on us.
Yeah.
Sometimes we can follow I like to look at the crop improvement acres report
Right.
to know where guys are kind of doing on acres planted for certification. But I know we've had a few of those that just dropped all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting on quite a bit of seed. Sometimes we've been fortunate enough that we have a grower that still likes them and we can sell some off.
Right.
Or sometimes we just have to haul it to the elevator.
Yeah.
Sometimes he sells it to researchers for cheap.
Yeah.
Hey, it
Sometimes he
grows.
tells you it's, DoubleStop, but not everybody, just Brian.
and there are some varieties where a few years ago I was like, okay, we're not going to need much of this one.
Yeah.
Smith's Gold and Gallagher are starting to fall in that category.
Yeah.
So can I produce 2 years of seed this year and not have to produce it next
Right.
year? And we can do that. And if we take care of it in the bin, not let the insects get it, we can carry it over. And I've got some of that this year where I didn't do very good last year.
So I think you kind of answered it there. Like I remember back in my, back whenever I was in school, Jagger was it.
Yeah.
And then, it started to fall off. I think it had a disease issue. And then Jagaline was brought in, but that fell off a cliff really quickly. So what do you guys do as foundation with it? Do you just kind of, grow it, sell it, and then you're done with it?
Or just haul it to the
mill? Or
Yeah, we just get rid of it.
Do you hold any? We keep a small collection.
Just in case?
We do have a small amount of every variety that OSU's released in cold storage.
Yeah.
And I try to keep at least 10 bushels of most of them now. We're getting to the point that I almost can't do that.
Right.
I really need to go back and say some of those like Duster where I've got 10 or 20 bushels. I probably need to drop that to 2 or 3 now.
Yeah.
And just make some room in the cold storage because it's getting pretty full.
Well, and then all those varieties, there is germplasm storage that every variety release goes to at a national level, correct?
That is correct.
In case it needs pulled out or needs, breeder seed, they need germplasm, stuff like that.
That is correct.
So how often does Brett Carver come back and say, "You remember that variety from back there? Oh, can I have a little bit of it, or let's maybe try that one again?" Does that ever happen?
I think it's maybe he just says, that one we tried 2 or 3 years ago.
Right.
Here's the one that has that one mostly as a parent.
Oh, right. I got you.
But he has went back before.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was actually one but one before Pete that I increased 1 year, had quite a bit of production of it, and I was like, man, this one looks great. And then he said, no, we got to go with this one. Well, Stripe Rust changed Pete the first year of launch, and Pete.
Yeah.
I actually went to him like 2 years later and said, you remember that one? I still have a bushel in cold storage. He's like, I think I could use that for some crossing. So
you did answer the question of the future of foundation seed, but where do you see you're a member of the wheat improvement team. Where do you see the focus of that going, just from what you've seen so far?
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
There's lots of possibilities, and of things coming.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
You know,
I like to ask
He's
the
not
really
at
big
liberty
questions
to
here.
say.
Right. He's sworn under NDA and threat of life.
He has gotten too much under the wing to tell
I
you
can
that,
just say,
Dave.
you know, Dr. Carver spoke earlier today.
Oh, I should have been there. Oh, man.
It was a great presentation, and it's exciting to look at the purple wheats, the high fiber, the ox wheats. There's lots of things that I think is exciting that we're going to have a chance to change the future.
Why are those partnerships with the producers so important? Not only just, you know, growing seed for you, but also kind of giving you feedback on that. Why is that partnership with the producers across Oklahoma, across Colorado, across Kansas, Texas? Why are those so important?
Well, we just get a lot of feedback from them, but you know, knowing what works for them, what Brett needs to be looking for to help what needs to be in their area.
Yeah.
And as far as our seed producers that we work with under contract production, you know, those guys are huge for us because we can't do it all. Although I would really like to go combine every acre ourselves. We can't do those large acreages without our contract producers.
Well, Jeff, thank you so much for going on with us. This has been a lot of fun, and maybe we ought to have a conversation like this in Stillwater sometime.
Well, maybe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do it next time we're in Wichita.
Yeah. you might can come to our building sometime.
Wow,
Again, yeah.
that's right. Yeah. Well, thanks again for coming on with us.
All right.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you for listening in on this conversation of the Red Dirt Agronomy Podcast. And if you'd like to join the next discussion, leave us a message on our website, reddirtagronomy.com, or you can always send us a tweet. Our handle is reddirtag. We would all like to thank Jeff Wright of Oklahoma Foundation Seed for joining us on the podcast. And again, if you get a chance, visit our website, reddirtagronomy.com, to find out more information about all of our guests and any of the resources we discussed today or on previous podcast episodes. For Dr. Brian Arnall, Dr. Josh Lofton, and Dr. Raedan Sharry, I am Dave Deacon, and we all want to thank you for listening. The proceeding is a copyrighted recording of Ag Now Media, LLC, 2025. And yes, all rights are reserved.